What if I told you that one simple rule, a principle we've all heard since childhood, holds the key to unlocking untold success and fulfillment? The golden rule, treat others as you would want to be treated, isn't just a nice idea. It's the core of everything that truly matters. The most powerful force you have at your disposal is how you choose to treat others, and most importantly, how you treat yourself. Before you can ever expect to inspire greatness in others, you must first inspire it within yourself. Apply the golden rule to your own life. Treat yourself with respect, kindness, and the same level of discipline that you expect from those around you. Self-respect is not optional. It's a prerequisite for all of your success. How you view yourself shapes the actions you take, the energy you radiate, and the goals you pursue. If you treat yourself with disdain, that's exactly what you'll attract. But when you honor your own worth, you become a magnet for greatness. Mindset is everything. It's the foundation from which every action flows. If you consistently see the world through a lens of abundance, positivity, and empowerment, the golden rule becomes more than just a guideline. It becomes a force that moves you forward, that propels you toward success. Your thoughts shape your behavior, and your behavior shapes your reality. Focus your thoughts on what you want to see more of, and watch your life transform. Act with integrity in everything you do. Integrity is not just about honesty. It's about showing up with a sense of honor, ensuring that your actions match your values. Without integrity, everything you achieve will eventually crumble. It's the glue that holds everything together. Your success will be measured not by the wealth or status you accumulate, but by the trust and respect you build with others. Integrity creates an unshakable foundation for success that stands the test of time. Empathy is a powerful tool. The more you put yourself in others' shoes, the more you understand the challenges they face. This creates stronger connections and fosters collaboration. When you apply the golden rule, you don't just treat others how you wish to be treated, you become a force of change. Empathy strengthens relationships, boosts morale, and ignites a culture of support that drives everyone toward a common goal. Treat people as you want to be treated, but do not underestimate the impact of doing so. The golden rule doesn't just create harmony, it builds trust. Trust is the currency of all meaningful relationships, and without it, you cannot achieve success. Every successful person you've ever admired, whether in business, leadership, or personal growth, understands this principle intimately. Treat others with respect and dignity, and they will return that respect to you tenfold. The golden rule is not a one-time action, not a fleeting thought or momentary gesture. It's a way of life. The more consistently you apply this principle, the more powerful the impact will be on your own success and the success of those around you. Consistency breeds results. It turns a simple act into a movement. It's through consistency that you build character, reputation, and the lasting success you desire. Lastly, understand this. Your legacy will not be defined by what you own or what you've accomplished, but by how you treated the people around you. The golden rule is your blueprint for creating a legacy of respect, trust, and lasting impact. Long after you're gone, the lives you touched, the respect you built, and the relationships you nurtured will live on. Now is the time to apply this rule in your life, not as an occasional reminder, but as a daily practice. Choose to live with purpose. Treat yourself and others with respect, integrity, and empathy. You don't need permission to start. Take the first step today and watch how this simple yet powerful principle can transform your life and the world around you. The power of the golden rule is a force that can change everything. It's not just a simple moral guideline or a casual suggestion. It's a transformative principle, one that has the ability to reshape your life and the lives of everyone you encounter. It's a force so powerful that when applied consistently, it can create a ripple effect that spreads far beyond your immediate circle, touching lives in ways you may never fully comprehend. The golden rule is not some abstract concept or a quaint ideal. It's a practical, actionable philosophy that can define the course of your success, the quality of your relationships, and the legacy you leave behind. Too many people live their lives oblivious to the fact that their actions, words, and intentions have a much greater impact than they realize. They wonder why success seems to elude them, why their relationships lack depth, or why they feel disconnected from the world around them. The answer often lies in how they treat others, and most importantly, how they treat themselves. The Golden Rule is a call to self-awareness, a demand for conscious, deliberate action that centers on respect, kindness, and empathy. The truth is that you cannot expect to receive something from others that you are unwilling to give yourself. Before you can truly expect to see kindness, integrity, and respect from the world around you, you must first cultivate those qualities within yourself. It starts with self-respect, treating yourself with the same level of care, dignity, and discipline that you would offer to the most important person in your life. When you show up for yourself, when you honor your own worth, you align with the universal law of cause and effect. The energy you put into the world will eventually come back to you tenfold. Self-respect is not something that can be faked. It's not about external appearances or pretending to be something you're not. It's an internal state of being, a deep acknowledgement of your own value, your own potential. When you apply the Golden Rule to yourself, you no longer tolerate negative self-talk or behaviors that undermine your potential. You refuse to accept mediocrity in your own life, just as you wouldn't tolerate it from others. This is the first step toward unlocking your true power. You must treat yourself with the same love, encouragement, and commitment that you would give to anyone else you want to see succeed. Once you've established this foundation of self-respect, it's time to turn your focus outward. The Golden Rule calls on you to treat others as you would want to be treated. But this is not a passive guideline, it's an active, dynamic approach to life. It's a mindset that shifts the way you view and interact with everyone you encounter. It's about being intentional in how you show up in the world. Your words, your actions, your thoughts, they all carry weight. They all have the potential to inspire, uplift, or deflate. When you treat others with kindness, you create a space where trust can flourish. Trust is the foundation of all meaningful relationships, whether personal or professional. Without trust, there can be no cooperation, no collaboration, no growth. The Golden Rule is the blueprint for establishing and nurturing trust. When people feel respected, valued, and understood, they're more likely to return that respect and create an environment of mutual support. Whether in business, friendship, or family, this principle remains the bedrock on which everything else is built. But it doesn't stop there. The Golden Rule extends beyond just treating others with kindness. It demands empathy. It urges you to put yourself in the shoes of others, to understand their struggles, their joys, their challenges. Empathy is the bridge that connects us all, allowing us to see beyond surface differences and recognize the shared humanity in everyone we meet. When you make an effort to understand others, you create stronger, more meaningful connections. You become a source of support, a person people can rely on because they know you see them, not just as they are, but as they want to be seen. Empathy is what drives leaders to make decisions that benefit not only themselves, but also their teams. It's what inspires co-workers to help each other. What makes a leader truly great? Without empathy, leadership becomes hollow, transactional, and ineffective. But when you embrace the Golden Rule and practice empathy in everything you do, you tap into the true power of influence. You don't need a title to lead. You need a heart that understands and supports others. Consistency is the key that turns the Golden Rule from a fleeting thought into a transformative force. It's not enough to apply this principle occasionally or when it's convenient. True power lies in living it every single day, in every interaction, no matter how big or small. It's easy to treat people with kindness when they're kind to you. But the real test of character comes when others are difficult or unkind. That's when the Golden Rule has the most profound impact. It's easy to be empathetic when others are understanding, but the real growth comes when you choose empathy in the face of conflict, misunderstanding, or adversity. The more consistently you apply the Golden Rule, the more natural it becomes. It shifts from a conscious effort to a way of being. Eventually, your entire approach to life is defined by respect, kindness, and empathy. You become someone who uplifts and inspires those around you, someone whose presence makes a difference in the world. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally with purpose, integrity, and a clear sense of how you want to impact the world. The Golden Rule is a call to action. It's a challenge to rise above mediocrity, above the noise, above the petty squabbles and distractions that consume so many lives. It's an invitation to be better, to show up for yourself, for others, and for the world. When you live by this rule, you create a life that not only fulfills you, but also impacts everyone you encounter. And that is a legacy worth leaving. Self-reflection is the most powerful tool you have in your journey toward personal growth. It is not simply a moment of introspection. It is the key to unlocking your full potential. When you take the time to reflect on your thoughts, actions, and decisions, you are taking an active role in shaping your future. Growth is not accidental. It is the result of a deliberate and continuous process of looking inward, understanding where you are, and identifying where you want to go. Without self-reflection, growth becomes a random occurrence, something that happens to you rather than something you direct. But when you consciously reflect on your experiences, your beliefs, and your goals, you are setting the stage for true transformation. The most successful people in the world didn't get to where they are by simply following the crowd or reacting passively to circumstances. They became who they are by constantly evaluating their choices and their behavior, seeking improvement in every area of their lives. Self-reflection is the act of stopping for a moment, looking at where you are, and asking yourself tough questions. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What are the patterns in my life that are serving me, and which ones are holding me back? These questions aren't just for moments of crisis. They should be a constant part of your life, guiding your actions and decisions every single day. When you engage in self-reflection, you are not only acknowledging your past, but taking ownership of your future. This process forces you to confront your strengths and weaknesses honestly. It allows you to see the areas where you excel and the areas that need work. And here's a critical point. Self-reflection is not about criticizing yourself or dwelling on mistakes. It's about learning. It's about using every experience, whether positive or negative, as a stepping stone toward greater understanding and improvement. Those who are unwilling to reflect on their actions are often stuck in a cycle of repetition, never fully learning from their mistakes or even their successes. Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design, and the design begins with self-reflection. But true self-reflection requires brutal honesty. You can't expect to grow if you're only willing to look at the parts of yourself that are easy to acknowledge. Growth demands that you face the uncomfortable truths, the moments where you fell short, the habits that are holding you back, the mindsets that keep you trapped in old patterns. It's easy to see your strengths, but growth comes from looking at your weaknesses and deciding to do something about them. Self-reflection means owning up to the fact that you're not perfect, but it also means realizing that perfection is not the goal. Progress is, and that progress is only possible when you recognize and address the areas in your life that are preventing you from moving forward. Self-reflection is a tool of empowerment because it gives you the ability to control your own destiny. When you take the time to reflect, you realize that you are not at the mercy of external circumstances. You can influence your future by adjusting your actions and thoughts today. This power lies within you, but it only becomes clear when you take the time to examine yourself and your choices. Each moment of self-reflection is a choice to move from where you are to where you want to be. By making these choices consciously, you create a roadmap for your own growth. This means that you are not just drifting through life, reacting to what happens to you. You are proactively shaping your life in the direction you want to go. It is through this process of reflection that you begin to understand your true potential. Every day you make choices that define who you are, but it's easy to fall into patterns of automatic behavior. Without taking a step back and reflecting on these choices, you miss the opportunity to make more informed, intentional decisions. Self-reflection allows you to break free from unconscious habits and move toward actions that are aligned with your higher goals. The more you reflect, the more you uncover the depths of your own capabilities, and the more clarity you gain about the life you want to build. Self-reflection also opens the door to emotional intelligence. By reflecting on how you react to situations and how your emotions influence your behavior, you develop a deeper understanding of yourself and others. You start to recognize the triggers that cause you to act in certain ways and can choose to respond differently. This awareness is a fundamental component of emotional growth and helps you navigate life's challenges with greater ease. It allows you to develop better relationships, both personally and professionally, because you begin to understand not only your own emotions, but also the emotions of others. The process of self-reflection forces you to take responsibility for your life. Too often, people blame their circumstances, other people, or external events for their lack of progress. But self-reflection brings the power back to you. It shifts the focus from external factors to your own thoughts, beliefs, and actions. It's empowering because it puts you in control. It tells you that you have the ability to change your situation by changing the way you think, the way you act, and the way you approach challenges. Your future is not written by anyone but you. As you engage in this practice of self-reflection, it is essential to remember that growth is not instantaneous. It's not a quick fix, and it's not always easy. The process of reflection can be uncomfortable because it requires you to confront your flaws in the areas where you are not yet who you want to be. But this discomfort is part of the growth process. It is through this discomfort that you learn, adapt, and evolve. The more you reflect, the more you become aware of the steps you need to take in order to reach your full potential. And over time, this awareness leads to powerful, lasting change. The act of self-reflection is a daily commitment, not a one-time event. It is through the daily practice of looking at yourself, questioning your actions, and being open to growth that you begin to transform your life. This practice is the foundation of all other forms of success. Without it, you remain stagnant, drifting from one day to the next without true direction. But with it, you take charge of your destiny, becoming the person you are meant to be, and achieving the success you deserve. Mindset is the silent force that shapes every aspect of your life. It's not just the way you think, it's the lens through which you see the world, and it has the power to define who you are, what you accomplish, and how you experience every challenge that comes your way. The right mindset doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes your reality. When you shift your mindset, you shift the trajectory of your life. Everything becomes possible because you no longer see obstacles as walls, but as stepping stones. Your potential isn't defined by what you have, but by what you believe you can achieve. Too many people live their lives with a limited mindset, one that is shaped by past failures, negative influences, or the belief that they are simply not enough. This type of mindset keeps them stuck, forever chasing dreams without ever believing they can truly attain them. But here's the truth. Your mindset is the one thing you can control. It is the foundation upon which everything else is built. If you change your mindset, you can change your entire life. When you understand that your thoughts directly impact your actions, you realize the immense power you hold in shaping your destiny. Every decision, every step you take, begins with a thought. If you think that success is impossible, you'll never take the steps necessary to achieve it. If you think you're not worthy of success, you'll sabotage your efforts before they even begin. But if you shift your mindset to one that believes success is not just possible but inevitable, you will take bold action, embrace challenges, and keep moving forward despite the obstacles that arise. A growth mindset is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. People with a growth mindset view failures not as permanent setbacks, but as opportunities to learn and grow. They understand that the road to success is rarely a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, and detours, but each one brings new lessons, new insights, and new strength. Those who operate with a fixed mindset, on the other hand, are paralyzed by the fear of failure. They avoid challenges, reject criticism, and ultimately miss out on the opportunities that come with personal growth. When you shift to a growth mindset, you begin to see the world in a completely different way. Challenges become exciting because you know they are your opportunity to learn. Failure no longer feels like an end. It feels like a necessary part of the process. You begin to understand that every successful person has faced obstacles, made mistakes, and encountered rejection. The difference between them and those who give up is simply this: they didn't stop. They learned from their experiences and kept pushing forward with the belief that success was just around the corner. The shift in mindset is not an easy one, but it is a crucial one. It requires you to challenge the beliefs that have been ingrained in you over the years, the limiting beliefs that tell you that you aren't good enough, that you don't have what it takes, that success is reserved for someone else. The truth is that every single person has the ability to succeed, but only those who believe it can make it happen. It is this belief that propels you forward when things get tough. It's what keeps you going when everyone else has given up. It's the strength behind every great accomplishment. Once you've shifted your mindset to one of growth and possibility, you begin to see opportunities everywhere. You stop focusing on what you don't have, and instead you focus on what you can create, what you can do, and how you can improve. You start seeing challenges as opportunities to prove yourself, not as roadblocks that stand in your way. You see failure not as a reflection of your inability, but as a lesson that will make you better and stronger. This mindset doesn't just help you overcome difficulties, it helps you thrive in the face of them. The way you think about your goals also plays a crucial role in the mindset shift. If you see your goals as distant dreams, it will be hard to take the necessary actions to reach them. But when you view your goals as inevitable results of your persistent efforts, your mindset shifts again. You begin to see the path to success, not as a long, daunting journey, but as a series of manageable steps that you can take one at a time. With this mindset, every small action you take becomes a victory. Every challenge you face becomes an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. The power of mindset is in its ability to influence every area of your life. It affects your relationships, your career, your health, and your overall happiness. A positive, growth-oriented mindset attracts opportunities, people, and situations that align with your goals. It helps you attract success because you radiate the energy of someone who believes they are worthy of it. On the flip side, a negative, fixed mindset repels success. When you believe that success is not possible for you, your actions, energy, and decisions reflect that belief. You become a magnet for failure because you are not open to the opportunities that come your way. Mindset also affects your ability to handle adversity. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and failures, but when you have the right mindset, you know that these are not the end of the road. You understand that adversity is temporary, and that it's often the most difficult times that bring the greatest growth. With the right mindset, challenges become a call to action, a chance to show your resilience, and an opportunity to push beyond your limits. When you choose to see obstacles as opportunities, you train your mind to overcome them with strength, perseverance, and confidence. The shift in mindset isn't just about thinking differently, it's about believing differently. It's about taking that belief and turning it into action. It's about taking small steps every single day toward the success you know is possible. And it's about refusing to let anything stand in the way of your dreams. When your mindset aligns with your goals, nothing can stop you. Every challenge becomes a lesson, every setback a stepping stone. With the right mindset, you have the power to transform your life and create a future that is aligned with your greatest aspirations. Acting with integrity is the foundation of true success. Without integrity, everything you build in life, whether it's your career, your relationships, or your personal reputation, becomes fragile, vulnerable to collapse at the first sign of adversity. Integrity is not a quality that can be faked. It is a core value that shapes who you are at your deepest level. It is the willingness to do what is right, even when no one is watching. It's the commitment to living in alignment with your values, regardless of external circumstances or the pressure to compromise. When you act with integrity, you build a reputation that commands respect and trust, and you lay the groundwork for lasting success. Integrity is the backbone of credibility. It's impossible to build a lasting relationship or a thriving business without credibility. The more you act with integrity, the more people will trust you, and trust is the currency of success in any field. Whether in personal or professional relationships, integrity is the trait that fosters loyalty, cooperation, and respect. When people trust you, they are more likely to open doors for you, offer opportunities, and support you in ways that you cannot anticipate. Trust is not built overnight, but through consistent, small actions that align with your values. Integrity doesn't just influence how others see you, it also impacts how you see yourself. When you act with integrity, you hold your head high, knowing that your actions reflect the highest version of yourself. You don't second-guess your choices, because you know that they are grounded in a strong moral foundation. Your self-worth is not tied to external validation, but to your inner compass. This gives you the strength to stand firm in the face of adversity, and it fuels the courage to make the tough decisions that others might avoid. You will never need to look over your shoulder or wonder if you made the right choice, because your integrity will always point you in the right direction. But integrity requires sacrifice. It is easier to take shortcuts, to bend the truth, or to make decisions based on what is immediately beneficial. The temptation to compromise on your principles can be strong, especially when the stakes are high or when the pressure to conform is overwhelming. However, compromising your integrity may seem like a quick fix in the short term, but in the long run it always leads to negative consequences. A momentary gain achieved through dishonest actions can cost you much more than you ever expected. Trust, relationships, respect, and credibility can be irreparably damaged. Acting with integrity requires a constant commitment to doing what's right, even when it's not the easiest or most popular choice. It's about aligning your actions with your values, even in difficult situations. This might mean taking the harder path, the one that requires more effort and patience, but it's the path that leads to true fulfillment. Integrity is not a decision you make once, it's a way of life, a mindset that you must carry with you through every situation, big or small. The truth is, your integrity is constantly being tested. It's tested in the decisions you make every day, how you treat others, how you approach challenges, how you act when no one is looking. Every small choice is an opportunity to either strengthen or weaken your character. Acting with integrity means standing up for what's right, even when there's no immediate reward. It means refusing to engage in gossip, cheating, or cutting corners, even if others are doing it. When you consistently act with integrity, you set yourself apart from the crowd. People will notice your unwavering commitment to doing the right thing, and they will respect you for it. Integrity is also about taking responsibility for your actions. When you make a mistake, you own up to it. You don't shift blame or make excuses. You take full accountability for your decisions and seek to make amends if necessary. This type of honesty not only shows strength of character, but also demonstrates a commitment to personal growth. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn, but only if you approach it with integrity. Denying responsibility or trying to cover up your mistakes only leads to a cycle of dishonesty that eventually catches up with you. The more you practice integrity, the more it becomes second nature. It's not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about consistently making choices that align with your values, even when it's difficult. It's about building trust with others and with yourself. When you act with integrity, you attract the right people into your life, those who share your values and who appreciate your authenticity. You build relationships that are based on mutual respect and honesty, which are the strongest foundations for long-term success. When you act with integrity, you also inspire others to do the same. People are drawn to those who lead by example, and your commitment to integrity will influence those around you. Your actions become a beacon that guides others to do what's right, even when it's not easy. In this way, integrity is not just a personal value. It's a contagious force that has the power to change the environment around you. When you act with integrity, you become a positive influence, a leader who others look up to and trust. This is the type of influence that leads to lasting success, both personally and professionally. Ultimately, acting with integrity is about living with purpose. It's about aligning your actions with your beliefs and living a life that is true to who you are. When you act with integrity, you don't have to worry about the consequences of your actions because you know that you are doing what's right. Your decisions are grounded in your values, and you can stand by them with confidence. It's about building a life that is congruent with your highest aspirations, one that leaves a legacy of honesty, respect, and trust. In the end, acting with integrity is not just about doing the right thing. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be, the person who can stand tall, proud of every decision, and confident that they are living their truth. This is the true power of integrity. It shapes your character, your relationships, and ultimately your success. When you act with integrity, you build a life that is both fulfilling and meaningful, one that will withstand the test of time. Empathy is not just a feeling. It is a powerful force that can drive monumental change in both individuals and communities. It is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, to see the world through their eyes, and to respond with compassion and care. In a world that often feels divided, empathy is the bridge that connects us, helping us to relate to one another, heal wounds, and create positive transformations. It's easy to dismiss empathy as a soft, intangible quality, but in truth, it is one of the most impactful tools we have at our disposal. When you act with empathy, you create a ripple effect that spreads far beyond your immediate surroundings, influencing change in ways you may never fully understand. When you put yourself in someone else's shoes, you open the door to understanding their struggles, dreams, and experiences. This understanding is the foundation of meaningful connections. Empathy allows you to see beyond surface-level differences, whether they are based on culture, race, or social status, and tap into the shared human experience. By empathizing with others, you not only validate their feelings, but also build trust and mutual respect. This is the essence of human connection. When people feel understood, they are more likely to open up, collaborate, and work toward common goals. Empathy creates an environment where people feel seen and heard, which is the first step in any meaningful relationship, whether personal or professional. Empathy is a catalyst for change because it fosters compassion. When you truly understand the pain, fear, or joy of another person, you are moved to act in a way that helps alleviate their suffering or amplifies their happiness. Compassionate action, driven by empathy, has the power to create profound social change. Consider the many movements throughout history that have been sparked by the collective empathy of individuals who saw injustice and felt compelled to act. From civil rights movements to humanitarian efforts, empathy has been the driving force behind many of the world's most significant changes. It's empathy that drives people to fight for what is right, to stand up for the oppressed, and to create a better world for future generations. On a personal level, empathy is a force that helps you grow as an individual. It forces you to confront your own biases, assumptions, and limitations. When you empathize with others, you begin to understand the complexities of their lives, their struggles, and their triumphs. This broader perspective helps you become more open-minded, tolerant, and accepting of others. It challenges your worldview and pushes you to question the ways in which you may have been disconnected from the experiences of others. The more you practice empathy, the more you expand your own capacity for love, understanding, and compassion, which ultimately enriches your own life. Empathy also plays a crucial role in leadership. A great leader is not one who simply dictates orders or commands power. A great leader is one who listens, understands, and responds with empathy. When leaders lead with empathy, they create an environment where their team feels valued, understood, and supported. This leads to greater trust, cooperation, and loyalty, all of which are vital for success in any organization. Empathy in leadership fosters open communication and innovation because people feel safe to express their ideas, share their concerns, and collaborate toward common goals. It creates a culture where every individual feels that their voice matters and that their contribution is important. When leaders act with empathy, they inspire their teams to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positive change that can extend far beyond the workplace. Empathy is also an essential component of conflict resolution. In times of disagreement or tension, empathy allows you to approach the situation with understanding rather than judgment. It helps you to listen to the other person's perspective without immediately reacting or defending your own stance. When you can empathize with someone, you can find common ground, even in the most challenging situations. By acknowledging their feelings, you open the door to productive dialogue and mutual respect. Empathy enables you to see beyond the immediate conflict and focus on finding a solution that works for everyone involved. It is the key to bridging gaps in communication and turning adversarial situations into opportunities for growth and understanding. The impact of empathy is not just limited to individual relationships or small communities. It has the power to reshape entire societies. When large groups of people come together in empathy, they can create movements that challenge systems of inequality and injustice. Think of the many global challenges we face today, from poverty and hunger to climate change and human rights abuses. Empathy can drive collective action, inspiring people to fight for a world that is fairer, more compassionate, and more inclusive. As individuals, we may feel powerless in the face of such large-scale issues, but when we come together with empathy as our guiding force, we can create change on a global scale. This is why empathy is not just a personal virtue, it is a social responsibility. It is the foundation for creating a more just and compassionate world. In the age of technology, where we often interact with others through screens and social media, empathy is more important than ever. The digital world can sometimes create a sense of detachment, where we forget that the people on the other side of the screen are real human beings with their own emotions, struggles, and experiences. Yet, it is precisely in this virtual space that empathy can have a profound impact. When we practice empathy online, we break down the barriers that can sometimes make us feel disconnected from one another. We create a sense of community, where kindness, understanding, and support can thrive, even in a digital world. Empathy also nurtures emotional intelligence, which is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, while also recognizing and influencing the emotions of others. High emotional intelligence allows you to connect with people on a deeper level, making it easier to build trust, resolve conflicts, and create strong, meaningful relationships. Empathy is at the heart of emotional intelligence. When you are in tune with the feelings of others, you can communicate more effectively, manage your emotions in challenging situations, and build deeper, more fulfilling connections. Empathy is not just a nice-to-have quality, it is a transformative force that has the potential to change everything. It enables you to see the world through the eyes of others, to act with compassion and understanding, and to create positive change in both your own life and in the world around you. When you embrace empathy, you become part of a larger movement, one that is shaping a more compassionate, understanding, and connected world. Empathy is a force for change that begins with each of us, and the impact it can have is limitless. Treating people the way you want to be treated is not just a simple golden rule. It's the cornerstone of human connection and respect. The way we treat others is a reflection of our own values and character. Every interaction, whether in personal relationships or professional settings, carries the potential to either uplift or diminish the people around us. When we make the conscious choice to treat others with kindness, respect, and fairness, we create a world that mirrors those same qualities back to us. The truth is, how you treat others speaks volumes about who you are and what kind of impact you want to have on the world. At the heart of treating others well is empathy. If you want to be treated with respect, understanding, and care, then it's essential that you offer those same qualities to others. When you truly understand the feelings and perspectives of the people you interact with, you are better equipped to respond in ways that acknowledge their humanity and dignity. Every person, regardless of their background, status, or position, deserves to be treated with kindness. It costs nothing to be respectful and considerate, but the rewards are immeasurable. Every small act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every gesture of understanding creates a positive ripple effect that can change someone's day, or even their life. Treating others with respect is also an investment in your own future. The relationships you build through kindness and fairness become the foundation for mutual support and trust. Think about the people in your life who have treated you with generosity and respect. These are the individuals you are most likely to turn to in times of need, the ones you trust to have your back. When you treat others with the same respect, you are building a network of support that will pay dividends throughout your life. The respect you give is often returned to you in ways that are invaluable, whether it's in the form of loyalty, trust, or opportunities you might never have anticipated. There is power in treating people as you want to be treated. It's a force that transcends personal preferences and creates a shared understanding. When you approach others with respect, you break down barriers, both real and perceived. Differences in opinion, culture, or experience become secondary when the foundation of your interaction is built on mutual respect and understanding. This principle helps create a level playing field where everyone's voice is heard, their opinions valued, and their rights respected. When people feel seen, heard, and respected, they are more likely to open up, collaborate, and work together toward common goals. Treating others as you wish to be treated fosters cooperation and unity, which is essential for any collective success. In the workplace, this principle is particularly powerful. Whether you are a leader, a colleague, or a team member, the way you treat others directly influences the culture of the organization. When leaders treat their employees with dignity and respect, it inspires loyalty, boosts morale, and drives productivity. On the flip side, a toxic environment where people are disrespected or belittled leads to disengagement, resentment, and high turnover rates. When you take the time to recognize the value of every individual, you create a space where people feel appreciated and empowered to do their best work. A work culture rooted in mutual respect promotes creativity, collaboration, and a sense of purpose, which are essential ingredients for long-term success. Moreover, treating people the way you want to be treated is an antidote to misunderstandings and conflict. In a world where communication is often misinterpreted and intentions can be misconstrued, approaching every interaction with patience and respect helps bridge those gaps. When you treat others the way you want to be treated, you are more likely to approach disagreements with calm and openness. Rather than escalating tensions, you choose to listen and engage with empathy. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everyone or avoid conflict altogether. Instead, it means that you approach every conversation with the intention of finding common ground and understanding, even if your opinions differ. Respectful communication fosters resolution rather than division, and it creates space for dialogue that can lead to growth and collaboration. Respect and kindness also extend to the way we treat people in positions of power. It's easy to show kindness to those who can benefit you directly, but true character is demonstrated when you treat everyone with the same level of respect, regardless of their status. Whether you are interacting with a CEO, a janitor, or a customer service representative, treating each person with the same level of dignity shows that you value people not for what they can do for you, but for who they are as individuals. This type of respect doesn't just elevate the people around you, it elevates you. It shows that you are a person of integrity who recognizes the worth in everyone, regardless of their role in society. This principle of treating others as you want to be treated also applies to the way we interact with those who disagree with us or hold opposing views. In times of division and conflict, it is easy to become defensive, dismissive, or combative. But treating others with respect, even when you disagree, is a powerful way to keep the lines of communication open. It allows for the possibility of understanding and growth, even in difficult conversations. People are more likely to listen to your perspective if they feel that you have listened to theirs. When you approach disagreements with respect, you demonstrate maturity and emotional intelligence. You also open the door to the possibility of finding common ground, where mutual respect becomes the starting point for constructive dialogue. One of the most profound impacts of this principle is the way it shapes our society as a whole. A world in which people treat one another with kindness, empathy, and respect is a world where cooperation and peace can thrive. When we consistently treat others as we wish to be treated, we create a culture of understanding and shared humanity. We recognize that despite our differences, we are all connected by our shared experiences, challenges, and desires. This fosters a sense of community and collaboration, where the goal is not just personal success but collective well-being. It encourages kindness, patience, and the recognition of the inherent worth of every individual. The power of treating others as you want to be treated is immeasurable. It is not just about creating better relationships or achieving personal success. It is about contributing to a world that values kindness, empathy, and mutual respect. Every time you choose to treat someone with dignity and understanding, you make the world a little brighter, a little kinder, and a little more connected. It is the simplest yet most powerful act of change we can make, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. Consistency is the bedrock upon which true success is built. It is the unwavering commitment to show up every day, no matter the circumstances, no matter the challenges. Consistency is what separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. It's easy to get excited about a new goal, to start a new project, or to embark on a fresh venture. But the real test comes in the long haul, the moments when the initial excitement fades, when obstacles arise, and when progress feels slow. It's in those moments that consistency becomes the true driver of success. To be consistent means to establish a pattern of action, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. The truth is, success is rarely about making giant leaps in one moment. It's about the accumulation of small actions taken consistently over time. When you commit to doing the work, day after day, you build momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life. It's that quiet, steady force that keeps you moving forward, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Every small step you take, no matter how small, compounds over time to create a result that is far greater than the sum of its parts. Consistency breeds habits. It's not the occasional burst of effort that leads to long-term success. It's the consistent habits you form. Whether it's waking up early to work on your goals, consistently improving your skills, or practicing discipline in your daily life, your habits are the foundation of your future. When you consistently show up and put in the effort, even on days when motivation is lacking, you create a cycle of growth that becomes automatic. The more you commit to consistent action, the more your mind and body adapt to that routine. Eventually, the things you once had to push yourself to do become second nature. You don't have to rely on motivation because consistency has made your actions habitual. One of the greatest advantages of consistency is its ability to turn failure into success. When you face setbacks or experience moments of failure, it's easy to become discouraged. The key to overcoming failure is not to avoid it, but to keep moving forward despite it. Consistency is the key to bouncing back from failure. When you are consistent, you understand that failure is just a stepping stone on the path to success. The successful individuals you admire didn't reach their peak by avoiding failure. They reached it because they kept showing up, kept working, and kept refining their craft. Each failure was simply another lesson, another opportunity to grow, and they never allowed it to derail their journey. The process of becoming consistent starts with setting clear intentions. If you don't know where you want to go or what you want to achieve, consistency becomes a meaningless effort. It's important to have a clear vision of your goals, but more importantly, you must commit to taking the necessary steps every single day to move toward that vision. Set small, manageable goals that you can consistently work on. Break down your larger vision into smaller pieces that can be tackled each day. The more specific you are about your daily actions, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. This kind of clarity not only gives you direction, but also helps you measure your progress over time. Many people fail to understand that success isn't built overnight. It's not about the quick wins or the big moments of recognition. Real success is about the day-to-day grind, the behind-the-scenes work that no one sees. It's about showing up when no one is watching, doing the work even when you don't feel like it. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by focusing solely on the outcome. They got there by staying consistent in their effort, even when the results weren't immediate. When you focus on consistency, you start to realize that success is not a destination, but a journey. It's about being willing to do the work, day in and day out, without expecting instant gratification. One of the hardest parts of maintaining consistency is resisting the temptation to compare yourself to others. It's easy to look at someone else's success and think that they achieved it effortlessly or overnight. But the reality is that success is rarely instantaneous. Most successful people have spent years developing their skills, building their networks, and honing their craft. They didn't get there by taking shortcuts or by focusing on the outcome. They got there by showing up consistently, putting in the effort every single day, and making incremental improvements over time. When you compare your progress to others, you can easily lose sight of your own journey. Instead, focus on your own path and embrace the power of consistent action. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. Consistency is also critical when it comes to personal growth. The more consistently you engage in self-improvement, whether it's through reading, learning new skills, or expanding your knowledge, the more you evolve as an individual. Growth doesn't happen in a single moment of inspiration. It happens through consistent, intentional effort over time. Every small investment you make in your personal development adds up, and over time you begin to see the results. Whether it's improving your mindset, learning new strategies for success, or building emotional resilience, the more you commit to consistent self-growth, the more your life transforms. The key to staying consistent is to embrace the process, not just the end result. Too many people get discouraged because they focus solely on the end goal and ignore the journey. It's important to keep the larger vision in mind, but it's equally important to enjoy the process of getting there. The small, daily efforts you make, the moments of progress, and the lessons you learn along the way are all part of the success you're building. When you commit to consistency, you begin to appreciate the journey for what it is, an opportunity for growth, learning, and self-discovery. It's also essential to understand that consistency requires discipline. Discipline is the ability to stay focused on your goals and continue taking action, even when it's not easy or when you don't feel like it. It's about building the mental toughness to push through the discomfort and to keep going even when obstacles arise. The more you cultivate discipline, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. Discipline and consistency go hand in hand, and together they create the foundation for long-term success. Consistency is the key to unlocking your potential. It's the secret ingredient that separates those who succeed from those who quit. Success isn't about talent or luck. It's about the consistent actions you take every day. Whether you're building a business, pursuing a dream, or striving for personal growth, consistency is what will carry you through the tough times and lead you to lasting success. It's about making the decision to show up, to put in the effort, and to stay committed to your goals no matter what. The power of consistency lies in its ability to compound, to create momentum, and to transform ordinary actions into extraordinary results. Creating a legacy is not a passive act. It's a deliberate and powerful choice to leave something meaningful behind. A legacy isn't about wealth or fame, though those may come along the way. It's about the impact you make on the world and the lives you touch. The choices you make, the way you live, and the principles you stand by, these are the building blocks of the legacy you leave. Legacy isn't something that happens at the end of your life. It's created every single day by the way you show up, the actions you take, and the relationships you build. It's about living with purpose and intention, understanding that the influence you have can echo through generations. To create a lasting legacy, you first must have a vision for what you want that legacy to be. What do you want people to remember about you? What values, lessons, or contributions do you hope to pass on? Legacy is more than just being remembered. It's about creating something that will continue to grow and benefit others long after you're gone. It could be the way you inspire others to chase their dreams, the way you uplift your community, or the knowledge you share that helps others succeed. It's about making a conscious decision to invest in something greater than yourself, to contribute to the world in a way that will have a lasting impact. A legacy is also shaped by the relationships you build. The people you connect with, the ones you help, and the ones you influence are all part of the tapestry of your legacy. Relationships are at the core of everything that matters. The way you treat others, the kindness you show, the support you offer in times of need, these are the building blocks of a powerful legacy. People will remember how you made them feel, how you believed in them when others didn't, and how you helped them become the best version of themselves. Your legacy lives in their hearts, their actions, and the way they carry your influence into their own lives. To build a legacy, you must also be willing to sacrifice for the greater good. Legacy doesn't come from seeking immediate gratification or focusing solely on your own success. It comes from putting in the hard work, often behind the scenes, with no immediate reward. It's about being patient, staying true to your values, and making decisions based on what's best for the long term. You'll face challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt, but these are the moments that define your character and shape the legacy you'll leave. Every sacrifice you make today, every step you take toward your goals, no matter how difficult, is a piece of the legacy you are building. Creating a legacy also means thinking beyond yourself. It's about recognizing that your actions today will have a ripple effect, influencing the people around you and, by extension, future generations. Whether it's through your work, your actions, or the values you impart to others, you have the power to shape the future. This is why it's essential to live with intention. Every day you are planting seeds that will grow and bloom long after you've moved on. The projects you invest in, the causes you support, and the way you mentor others all contribute to a legacy that has the potential to impact the world in profound ways. Legacy is built on excellence. If you want to leave something that stands the test of time, you must hold yourself to the highest standards. Excellence is about continuously striving to improve, to do better, and to be better. It's about refusing to settle for mediocrity, even when it's easier to do so. Excellence isn't about perfection. It's about consistent effort and a commitment to quality in everything you do. The more you focus on excellence, the more you set the stage for a legacy that others will look up to and aspire to replicate. Excellence is contagious. When you live by high standards, others will be inspired to do the same, creating a ripple effect of greatness that spreads across the world. Your legacy is also shaped by the impact you have on the community. The world is filled with challenges, and each one of us has the opportunity to contribute to solving them, whether it's through volunteer work, activism, or simply lending a helping hand to those in need. Your contribution to your community is an essential part of the legacy you leave. It's not always about grand gestures sometimes. It's the small, consistent acts of kindness and service that make the most significant difference. Every time you show up for your community, every time you contribute to making the world a better place, you are creating a legacy that will be felt for years to come. A powerful legacy is not created by focusing only on personal gain, but by recognizing the interconnectedness of all. When you create value for others, when you build something that benefits people beyond yourself, you create a legacy that lasts. Think about the great leaders and innovators of history. They didn't build their legacies by hoarding success for themselves. They built legacies by focusing on how they could make life better for others, by striving to create positive change in the world. They understood that their true success lay in the success of those they helped, inspired, and empowered. Your legacy, too, will be defined by how much you give to others and how much you help others succeed. Consistency is key to building a lasting legacy. It's not enough to have a vision for your legacy or to start strong. You must be consistent in your efforts. The smallest actions repeated over time compound into extraordinary results. Just as a small stream over time can carve out a path through solid rock, your consistent efforts will leave a lasting mark on the world. It's easy to start something with passion and energy, but it takes true commitment to follow through and build something that lasts. Every day you put in the work, every day you stick to your principles and continue to add value, you are creating a legacy that will endure beyond your lifetime. The key to creating a legacy is to recognize that it's not about immediate recognition or success. It's about the long-term impact you have on others and the world. Every day you live with intention, treat others with respect, make sacrifices, and invest in your community, you are building something that will continue to thrive long after you are gone. The legacy you create will be a reflection of your values, your actions, and your commitment to leaving the world better than you found it. Legacy is about more than what you accomplish. It's about how you make others feel, how you inspire change, and how you lift up those around you to be their best selves. And in doing so, you create something timeless, a legacy that can never be taken away. In the end, the legacy you leave is not determined by the things you accumulate, but by the impact you have on others and the world. It's shaped by the choices you make every day, the way you treat others, the sacrifices you make for the greater good, and the example you set for future generations. Your legacy is built on the foundation of integrity, excellence, and consistency, and it's fueled by your commitment to living with purpose. The world will remember not just what you did, but how you made people feel, how you inspired them, and how you empowered them to reach their full potential. In the journey of life, it's the footprints you leave behind, the lasting impressions, the wisdom shared, and the lives touched that define your true legacy. So choose to live with intention, invest in others, and build a legacy that will echo through the years, long after your time has passed.